Nix! Nix! Are you here? Twilight raced through the front door of her parents' house the moment she had been able to get it open. She galloped into the living room, her horn glowing with light, glancing around briefly for any sign of Nix. She then bolted for the kitchen. From there, she galloped into the dining room. From there, she backpedaled into the living room, and climbed the stairs to the floors of the forest. All the while she called for Nix, hoping to hear some answer.
Oh no, it doesn't look like she's here,
Fluttershy said. She and Spike came to the home's front door, moving slowly into the darkness. Twilight hadn't bothered to light a single lantern or candle, relying on her magic to illuminate her way. Spike and Fluttershy, however, couldn't rely on that same magic, not when Twilight had already raced upstairs. So, Spike felt his way through the dark, eventually finding the fireplace. It was trivial for the dragon to light the logs. Soon, the pink flames were casting light and warmth across the room. If things had gone as planned, the whole family and all of Twilight's friends would have come home. All the lights in the house would have been lit. There would have been games, laughter, sugary treats, and perhaps an embarrassing story or two. But now those things seemed like distant dreams. Fluttershy gently pushed the door shut, once Spike had set the fire, and walked into the living room.
Do you think she'd be in the backyard?
She isn't, Twilight said as he came in through the back door, kicking some snow off on the hooves. Wait, did you go upstairs? Spike asked, pointing over his shoulder with a thumb. I did, and Nix wasn't up there. But then how did you? I levitated myself out a window. Twilight answered as she shut the back door. I thought I saw something move in the snow. I didn't want to waste time going down the stairs, but it was just a shadow from this. She held up a small burnt stick in her magic, also shaking like she was about to drop it. Twilight's lips were quivering as well, as they didn't know whether to smile or frown at the sight of the stick. But Fluttershy knew what to do. She put a wing over Twilight's back and quickly brought the mare to the couch. And it was good timing, because Twilight's legs were losing their strength quickly. She collapsed onto the couch's soft cushions, mane fraying as her nerves began to get the best of her.
You'll be all right, Twilight. We'll find her,
Fluttershy said soothingly. Yeah, Fluttershy's right, Spike added, forcing a smile and confident tone to his voice. Every pony is helping look, even the castle guard. We'll find her. But where else could she be? Twilight asked, shouting at the pair as she was trying to raise her voice above the crowd. And what if we don't find her quickly enough? It's cold outside and getting colder. Sure, it isn't a heart-warming blizzard, but if she stays out there in the snow too long, she could get hypothermia or frostbite! Twilight gritted her teeth, slammed her face down into the cushions. Why? Why did this have to happen?
There's nothing you could have done.
Fluttershy reassured her. Twilight shook her head firmly. I could have noticed something was wrong with Shining. I should have noticed. He was so quiet around Nix. He almost never talked to her. He asked Mom all those questions when we got back home for shopping, and I should have talked to him after what happened at the station. Twilight lifted her head, only to slam it back down the cushion. And he can't be right! He's wrong! He can't be all just because of a mind control spell! Why would he even say that?
He's just worried, Twilight,
Fluttershy said, speaking softly and sweetly, despite Twilight's shouts.
It's a brother's job to care about what happens to his little sister. Yes, maybe he's a little overzealous, but didn't you do the same thing during the wedding rehearsal when you thought Cadence was evil?
But I was right! That Cadence was evil! She was an evil, love-eating, mind-controlling, tasty queen!
Are you saying that you think he's right?
Spike put out his claws defensively, as Twilight dared daggers at both him and Fluttershy. Whoa! That's not what we're saying! Then what are you trying to say?
They used to look at it from Shining's perspective,
Fluttershy explained, lifting a hoof and gently setting it on Twilight's shoulder.
He's just worried that what happened to him is happening to you. But you'll come around.
But what if he doesn't? Twilight asked. I don't want Nix to grow up with her only uncle hating her, and I don't want this to ruin my friendship with Shining. I just want us to be a family, like we've always been. But what if...
Twilight, you'll be okay. He just needs a chance to get to know Nix the way the rest of us do.
But what if he doesn't give her a chance?
He will.
Fluttershy said again, calmness and a gentle firmness in her voice.
You'll be okay.
But what if...
You'll be okay.
But...
It will be okay.
The simple confidence in Fluttershy's voice made her words sound as if they were absolute facts. And as usual, facts brought some peace to Twilight's mind. She smiled a little, silently thanking Fluttershy, before turning to look at Spike. Send a letter to the princess. Tell her we didn't find Nyx here at the house, and ask her what she thinks we should do next. Spike nodded and quickly scampered off to find a quill and a piece of parchment, while Fluttershy stayed with Twilight, continuing to give her strength and hope that things would, in fact, be okay. He went that way! Quicksnap banked hard, made the tightest turn he could manage, then continued to fly low. He gasped for breath and pushed all the strength he could manage out of his wings. He made turns at intersections, doubled back, and did everything he could to escape the Pegasi guards that were in hot pursuit. But they were gaining. Each time he glanced over his shoulder, they only seemed to get closer. He had been 2 blocks away when shining armor came out of the castle gates, with 2 other guards at his sides. Quicksnap wasn't sure how Shining knew where he was hiding, while he'd been waiting for Calm to come out. But somehow, Shining knew exactly where to look. And that was how this whole chase began. Glancing back again, Quicksnap saw the guards had gotten even closer. A few more minutes and they'd be able to catch him. That's if his wings didn't fall off from exhaustion first. He wasn't a sports flyer. He wasn't a daredevil or a racer. He was a photographer who needed to fly more laps around Canterlot each day and cut back on the hay and fries. Panting heavily through his mouth, Quicksnap made another hard turn on a random street. He didn't have to look back now. He could hear the guards' wing beats, and they were close. He couldn't beat them. He had to do something else. What would Calm do? He was the one always coming up with the plans, like the one at the train station. Yes, Calm would lure the guards under some roof, knock the snow off, or he tricked the guards crashing into a snow bunny. Maybe it wasn't a Calm quality plan, but throwing a snowball had been all Quicksnap could think of. And, by some miracle, it had worked. One of the 2 guards had been chasing him. The one had been hit in the face, tumbled to the snow-colored ground, and into a snow fort that had been left behind by some fillies and colts. That left just 1 guard. And Quicksnap scooped up another hoofful of snow as he pulled another right turn. He didn't know how earth ponies lived with just their hooves. A unicorn could pack a snowball with his magic. A Pegasus could use their wings. But earth ponies were stuck with their hooves. Still, despite the difficulty of trying to pack the snowball with just his hooves, Quicksnap had another icy ball waiting for the 1 remaining guard. He didn't throw it right away, though. The guard would be expecting that. No, Quicksnap kept flying, kept trying to escape by his own wing power. The guard was continuing to gain. Then he felt it. A forehoof had grabbed one of his own near his rear hooves. Halt! In the name of the... Quicksnap nailed the second guard square on the nose with the wet snowball he had been holding. The guard fell back, coughing and sputtering for the snow that had entered his mouth as he rubbed at his eyes with his hooves. That was all the opening Quicksnap needed. He tucked into a narrow alley, flew short ways, then hid behind a few garbage cans. Then worked to quiet his breathing as he strained his ears. He heard the guard had just shout, and heard another voice call back. He dared to take a peek. One of the guards had been taking off from the street and flying skyward. They were going to try and spot him from above, thinking he'd still be flying. But one quick lesson Quicksnap had learned from Calm was that there were ponies who weren't looking for you. At that moment, the guards expected him to be in the skies. So he folded his wings, got to his hose, and began walking. He breathed deeply, trying to calm his racing heart. He shook his head, fluttered his wings, and continued to make his way toward the far end of the alley. He then allowed himself to smirk a little. He had escaped a guard. Now all he had to do was go home, go to bed, and just forget about Calm. But just forgetting about Calm was hard. Reaching the end of the alley, stepping onto the street, Quicksnap focused his gaze on the distant castle. It glowed like a finely dressed heartwarming tree in the clear night air. But Quicksnap couldn't see the beauty at the moment. All he could see, all he could think about, was the mess Calm had likely made in the castle. What in the wide world of Equestria did you do, Colm? You were just going to take a picture of her. Of who? Quicksnap glanced and spread his wings. He didn't even want to look back and see which guard had caught up with him. But before he could get a foot off the ground, a pink aura surrounded him. He slammed into the magical barrier and stuck there for a moment, before falling down into the soft blanket of snow that covered the street. Aren't you the photographer from the other day? Quicksnap rolled his head back, and then had to fight the urge to vomit when he realized the stallion who had caught him was none other than Shining Armor. Who? Me? Quicksnap asked, and Shining's question was a joke. No, I just have one of those faces and coat colors. That, and I know 5 other ponies that carry mark who have a cutie mark like mine. Their names are. They are. Quicksnap laughed as he fumbled to think of fake names. All the while, Shining looked on, his glare growing sterner by the second. Well, who are they? Shining pressed. They are. No one else. Quicksnap hung his head in defeat. He just couldn't come up with a lie like Colm could. So, you are the Pegasus who harassed my wife and sister the other day with his camera? Yes, Quicksnap admitted with a small nod of his head. And I take it this belongs to you? Shining opened a small hole in his barrier, then tossed something inside. Quicksnap reached out his hose and catched and jiggled the item. It was his camera, though it had seen better days. The viewfinder had a hole in it, and the case was beaten up. The lens was cracked. What happened to it? Quicksnap couldn't help but ask. It was found amongst the wreckage. Quicksnap took his eyes off the camera and looked up at Shining. The wreckage of what? He asked, concern and a small amount of panic ringing in his voice. Of the pageant. Some pony caused the stage catwalks to break loose and fall onto the stage, nearly killing several very important ponies, including myself and my wife. We found your camera at the scene. Shiny took a step closer to the barrier, using his height to loom over Quicksnap. So, do you care to explain what happened, or would you prefer I arrest you for your involvement in this act of treason? Treason? But I didn't do anything! It was all Colm! He had... Quicksnap snapped his hose across his mouth, but the damage had already been done.